listen over. You a queen when I less than I'm a gozy. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Hey, hey, hey. Girl, you're such a powerful woman.
Hi ninjas, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie aka Miss Fair for coloring back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, I was really welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It's at boldly Owamie. Now ninjas, before we get into this video, let's go ahead and check this shout out.
So hello fellow ninjas, I want to invite you to our platform. I want you to come on over there and see what it is that we do. So it's basically a place where we speak about case studies, we speak about energy work, we share learnings, we talk about everything under the sun that has to do with spiritual well-being. So you are invited, you are cordially invited to the self-work channel. Yay. Right?
Ninjas, I do this shadow so that we can help each other grow. So please do make sure that you go to the Ninjas channel, make sure that you comment, make sure that you subscribe, and make sure that you actually say that Queen Ninja sent you guys, okay? Now, I will make sure that link is in the description box down below. I did see that some of you guys confused the description box with the comment section. So the description box is when, just right as there'll be where it says description. If you click there, you go down, you will definitely see. I always make sure that all the links are the first thing that actually comes up after obviously the welcome message, right? So yeah, but then we also do have a special that is still running. You get 5 ads for only 1,200. So if you want to take advantage of the special, you can go ahead and do so. I'm sure there will have been phone numbers and email address. Preferably do send a WhatsApp message to the numbers and my PA will sort you out, okay? Now ninjas, I know that I've been a bit MIA, so today is gonna be quite a busy day for you guys. You're gonna have a lot of videos that you're going to watch. I'm obviously saying I'm sorry, but there's also just stuff that I just was like, we are not going through life as if this did not just happen, Shiboom, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is Miss SA, Miss South Africa. Oh Chichi, oh Chichi, oh ma da 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 da. Shibobu, when I tell you guys that the mountain is on the fire, kushushu kubedi, the country is on fire, okay? When I tell you guys that this whole chain day, I never saw this one coming, but it really honestly is one of those things that actually have you think, like, wait a minute, what? Let me just read this from let me read this from Times Live that went on to say that Adechina has been subjected to scrutiny on social media due to her bloodline. She is a South African born to a Nigerian father and a Mozambican mother, or they actually said a mother of Mozambican descent. They say that the debate intensified this week after a video of Adechina with people, some dressed in Nigerian attires, clothing, and celebrating her success in the competition surfaced online. Okay, so they're saying that Mr. Mackenzie said that we truly cannot have Nigerians compete in our Miss SA competition. I want to get all the facts before I comment, but it gives funny vibes already. Now, he was actually responding to who obviously you guys all know, Chris XL, who has been in the forefront of leading this whole gender that is actually going on, who had asked Ore, how do you feel when I think he said a Nigerian competing for Miss SA. I'm trying to get that screenshot here, but I'm not I can't quite get it, but I do remember what he had actually said. You know, Chris XL is he's not funny at times, but sometimes he's very, very funny, you know. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and just explain to you guys. There've been a lot of talks, you know. Some people are saying that Chichi's mom is South African and her father is Nigerian, but then others are saying that her mother is Mozambican and her father is Nigerian, and so they say that she was born in Baragwana Hospital. Okay, so Bara Hospital, and they're saying that obviously she's a South African. So there's someone that I also saw that was actually querying to say that at first her bio only had two flags, which was a Nigerian flag and also you know, a Mozambican flag. Then if really she's a South African or she valued being a South African, then how come she did not have the South African flag in there? So I don't know how true that is, because it has been removed or it was never there. I do not know, but they did say that after all these things started, that's when she went on to remove the flags, right? Because South Africa was not in there, allegedly, right? So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this does raise a lot of questions, because I think as much as a lot of people are looking at this and they're like, oh, you know, there's this and that, I think it's a great opportunity for us to finally get to know, and maybe for the law to have regulations, and maybe, you know, have some sort of conversation around this. Who really qualifies to be a South African? Do you just have to be born in South Africa in order for you to qualify? Because I do remember that there was a time that two parents from from Zimbabwe actually came to South Africa. The child was born in South Africa, and if I'm not mistaken, they went to Home Affairs to try register the child so that the child will get a birth certificate and obviously citizenship, like you're South African, were born here. And I think they did say that they were turned away. So if these two are not South African and Chichi's parents both are not South African, then how did she get the citizenship and the ID? What are the regulations that were actually followed? So I think I'm happy in terms of people are having this conversation so that maybe we can get clarity, because one rule should be one rule for all. It cannot be that, oh, you know, because of... it has to be for all. Now, whether if Chichi is South African or not, I think if she has a South African ID, then she is a South African. I don't know. This thing is just so confusing for me. I've never been so confused, guys, with a thing. I've never been so confused. I think for me, one thing that I can say is that the only thing that matters to me is that a Miss South Africa should be someone whose South Africa is their, whose how can I say this, whose priority will go to South Africans. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for me, I don't care who's there, as long as your priorities lies with South Africans, or you know, you're gonna put South Africans first, is what I mean, you know. Because if honestly it is true that she had the two flags and she didn't even have a South African flag, ma'am, what are you doing even trying to be Miss South Africa? That's the first thing. And I think it's also quite a bit this situation is really just so confusing, guys. So confusing. Because I feel like had it been that like her mother was a South African, or one parent of hers was a South African, it would be a different story. But for the fact that both her parents are not from South Africa, I do understand why people are asking questions. And let me go ahead and also say that I hate the fact that there are people that are trying to bring in xenophobia in this conversation. I don't think there's anything xenophobic about it. People are asking valid questions. That's the truth. I saw that there was this other show. I don't know if it's a show or it's a podcast in Nigeria. And it was women sitting there and talking about us South Africans and even talking about xenophobia. And I was just, you shush your mouth. You know nothing, you know. I do know and understand that there are people who they've gone about it the xenophobic way, which is not nice, obviously, and it's a very few people at that, I'm gonna say. But for me personally, I just see a lot of people asking valid questions. This is a child that is born to a Nigerian father and to a Mozambican mother, you know. okay, like, okay, you're a South African, but are you gonna put South Africans first? Because I'm sure that Mozambique has its own Miss Mozambican, and I'm sure Nigeria has its own Miss Nigeria. So are you gonna put South Africans first? That's the thing. Because we cannot have Miss Mozambique or Miss Nigeria representing South Africa. Angeke. We need someone that's gonna put up our interests, our best interests first. You know? So yeah, yeah. I do get why people are asking questions. Not everything has to be about xenophobia, and please do not try silence us with the they're just being xenophobic. No, it's not about it. No. People are asking valid questions. People are asking valid questions, and so I think that it would be nice to actually hear like what is going to happen with this. Obviously, she's competing. They're saying that she has met all the requirements, which would mean that she possesses an ID of South Africa and all that. But still, man, deep down, guys, like, is she really going to have South Africa's best interest? Is she? If she goes on to win Miss South Africa and goes on to compete and become the next Miss Universe, is she going to put South Africa first before or ahead of Nigeria and Mozambique, where her parents are from? So that's where it is, honey. That's where it is. Yeah, I think there's also a video that came up and she was celebrating. They said that she was celebrating with her family, and you could have thought that they were celebrating in Nigeria, the way that the setup was, and it just seemed to be, Nigerians, which is understandable because her father is Nigerian. And I think that, aren't you like your father's side? Like, if your father is Nigerian, you're Nigerian. If your father is Venda, you're Venda. If your father is Tsonga, you're Tsonga. If your father is Zulu, you're Zulu. Is that not how it works? So if that's how it goes, then it does mean that she's Nigerian. Like, that is also a South African, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think for me, I'm just interested to see how this is going to pan out, and I do hope that they're going to have conversations around this, because if she is a South African, then they need to also go and fetch that Zim couple and give that child citizenship, because it cannot work for others and not for the rest. It should work for the rest. I think that they need to start having regulations. If your parents are both not from South Africa, and they do not have citizenship, or one does not have citizenship, then that child can't be a South African. It has to be that both parents, or rather one parent from both, should have citizenship in the country in order to qualify a child to be a South African, because it makes no sense if you don't have the citizenship of South Africa and both of you don't, but then you have a child in South Africa. Just because the child is born in South Africa, then they are automatically South Africans. I don't know. Maybe they should have like South African light, South African blue, South African levels to this thing of being a South African. This is as far as you can go. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, guys. Like, that's why I think even when it comes to like things like the military and stuff, they actually do check. I know it may not be here in African stuff, but I don't know if this thing is just in movies, but I've seen like them being like, we cannot have you, let's say maybe like both your parents are not from that country, they can't have you there, because what if we are now going to war with the country that your father is from? Aren't you going to pimpy us? Are you not going? Do you get? Like, trust issues are always going to be there. So I think that, people should also understand of the fact that South Africans are asking valid questions. And I'm sure when we get those valid questions, or the answers, or valid answers to those valid questions, then this whole thing is actually going to stop. But yeah, I do think that people are asking valid questions. I know some people are going about it not the right way, but as I'm saying, I do personally believe they're asking valid questions. Let's also just understand and know, and let it be clear, so that we do have foreigners that are living in this country. If they meet, they fall in love, one is from Zimbabwe, someone is from Nigeria, someone is from I don't know, wherever, Ghana, Uganda, wherever, then they should know how does the law work. If I'm in South Africa and I'm not a South African, I'm meeting a non-South African resident as well, then and we are having a child, what's going to happen? What is the nationality of that child? So I think that those are conversations that are serious that need to be had so that we can all know. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna just wait and see how this all actually goes down. But anyway, do go ahead and comment down below what you guys think of this whole situation. Do you think that a lot of people are just pissed off the fact that her father is Nigerian and her mother obviously is also Mozambican? Or do you think that it's also what I'm saying, that we are just concerned on is, are you gonna put South Africans first? Because we want a Miss South Africa that is going to put us first, and that's all, you know. But anyway, do go ahead and comment down below. From Owamie Nature, I love you guys, stay blessed, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Bye, Ninja.